Hey everybody, Marcus C. Williams here. Let's talk about farming and agriculture and food because I know that you eat food, right? We all eat food. Food is very important to us as Americans because if there was no food, we wouldn't be able to live. I think that that's pretty fair. That's something that everybody can agree on. You know, I live in New York State, and this is very, very important, not just to New York State, but all over. New York State has a rich agricultural history. We've largely been into farming and stuff like dairy and, what would you say, apples? I don't know what it's called when you grow apples. Appling? I don't know. I don't know what that's called. That's a good question. But yeah, like growing apples and corn and stuff like that. But since 2017 in New York State, we've lost over 2,800 farms. That's a lot of food. That's a lot of food. And as you've seen, we've had issues with supply chains and food getting from here to there or there to here across the country. So it's better that there are more farms near you so you can eat the food from where you are. You know, focus local. That's a very important thing, and that's very important to me. Because another side thing with that is it's better for you to eat food that is grown in your area because it's more, how can I say it? I'm trying to remember to say it and make it less technical. Basically, if you eat the food that's grown in your area, it'll give you more resistance to different allergies, allergens, and things like common bacteria and viruses native to that area. That's a scientific fact. So that's one of the reasons why it's important to eat local. But over 2,800 farms since 2017 have been shut down or closed or forced out because largely the government overregulation of farming. The cost to run farms is astronomical now, and the government keeps heaping on those costs. And it's crazy because they make it cost more for fuel, it make it cost more for vehicles, it make it cost more for fertilizer. It's crazy the way that they're doing our farmers right now, and they keep passing these laws on the state level and on the federal level. Don't get it twisted. It's the federal government too, but I'm going to focus on the state for a second. In New York State, we are dependent on our farming and agricultural rich lands. But we've lost over, 370,000 acres since 2017. 370 acres. And I'll put that into perspective for you, right? 370,000 acres. I live in the city of Rochester. The city of Rochester is only about 24,000 acres. My city, medium-sized city, we are only 24,000 square acres. But we've lost 370 square acres of farmland. That's equivalent to 15 times the size of my city. 15 times the size of my city. That's uncognitive to me. Like, I don't even, like that, I don't know how to process that. Like, if I look at that, 15 times the size of my city, you're talking about 15 of my cities. If I put them in my county, you're talking about more than half of the land in my county. We got a pretty sizable county here, too, in Monroe County, where I live. That means almost half of that just got erased out of farmland. That's insane to me. 15 times the size of my city worth of land, of farmland, has been completely dissolved, disused since 2017. And it's crazy, right? Because that's 2017 to 2022. This doesn't even include what happened last year. Lord have mercy. I like to eat. I like to eat food. I like not having to eat bugs, which is what our government is really driving us towards. And they say it all the time. I don't know why people don't want to listen to them. They're like, that's never going to happen. We've had a lot of things that have never going to happen over the last 5 years happen. You know, a lot of things that have been called conspiracies over the last 5 years seem to have been happening. As a matter of fact, almost every single one of them seems to have happened. You're hard pressed to find one that didn't actually come true. This thing about our food and our farms is very important. Do you know that they're trying to put the same restrictions that they're putting in America over in Europe, and the farmers are protesting? I bet you didn't even know that. You know why? Because it's not here on the news. In the Netherlands, in France, in Spain, in England, all across Europe, the farmers are protesting. And I've heard that they've won a stop by the EU, and now the EU will not be implementing any new farming regulations that would even further bastardize the farming system. But here in America, they didn't broadcast any of that. They didn't show you any of the protests. They didn't show you the farmers spraying manure on the government buildings. They didn't show you the farmers taking all of their trailers and their tractors and their farm equipment and protesting in the cities and blocking the cities up and stuff like that. They didn't show any of that because they don't want to give the American people any type of a good sense to stand up. Because maybe if you did stand up, you'd be able to fight back against the plan that's being thrown against the American people. Like, people really need to wake up and understand that the United States government, I love my country. I'm Captain America in this piece. Don't get me started. Okay, I love my country. But the government ain't it. The government does not have our best interest in mind, especially the people who are on the elite level and the ones that have been in power for years and decades. All of them are all part of the same clubs, part of the same banks, part of the same family. Most of them are actually married into the same families. This is something else that needs to be talked about, but not today. We're talking about the food. But they don't care about you. Our state government, they don't care about you. They don't care. Because the people that are in there are unfazed. They don't have to suffer through the things that normal Americans, normal New Yorkers have to deal with every day. They are completely unfazed. You know? That's why we, the people, have to bring this stuff up. And you know, in New York State, they incentivize people that have farmland to actually plant solar panels instead of growing crops. I heard, and this is, I'm paraphrasing what I heard. So I heard that it's roughly $300 an acre that they get for planting food. And they get about $1,500 an acre to put up solar panels. So if the government's incentivizing you that much more to put up solar panels, you're probably going to allow them to put up solar panels so you can lease that land for people to put up solar panels. It's a financially a no-brainer. Like, you really have to have some brass ones to say, no, I'm going to continue to farm. Which doesn't even talk about how we know that many younger people don't want to keep the family farms and stuff like that going because they want to go do something because they can make more money doing something different. It's so disgusting, it makes you want to spit. It really does. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely abhorrent. And it's something that we as New Yorkers need to really take note of. Now, if we talk about it on the national level, since 2017, over 150,000 farms have closed down. Almost 2 million square acres. That's an incredible amount of farmland just taken out of the food chain. Completely gone. What's going to make up for that food? And you'll say, oh, well, we've got new agricultural processes, special hybridized seeds and stuff like that. That stuff's not healthy. Don't even play in my face like that. Don't even. Don't play in my face like that. That stuff is not healthy. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Okay. And then we wonder why so many people are getting diseases and cancers and stuff like that. Because you're eating crazy stuff that they've made up in labs. And now they're trying to push this lab-grown meat and plant-based meat, which isn't even like based off of plants, right? It's based off of plants, like manufacturing plants is what they mean when they say plant-based. It's incredible. It's incredibly awesome. Awesomely, terribly incredible. And not in a good way. But we need to be aware of this, and we need to be aware of what's going on, because Americans need to push back. You go to the store, you see, and you ask, why is your meat cost so much? That's why, because they're disincentivizing them to grow meat. Well, not, you know what I mean. When I say grow meat, I don't mean the lab-based meat that they're trying to do, which is absolutely crazy, and a whole nother conversation. But I mean, like, grow cows or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Pigs, chickens, stuff like that, poultry, and things like that. They're trying to make it disincentivized to grow crops. And then you wonder why your vegetables and strawberries and other berries and other things cost so much. I live in New York State, which is known for producing apples. I go to a store, I pick up the apple juice. It says 15 different countries on it. Can you make that make sense to me? We live in a very serious time. And if we do not get a hold of our supply chain and our food chain at this time, we are running the risk of being forced to eat the bugs, of being forced to eat these conglomerated masses that they call lab-grown meat, or the fake plant-based meat, which is manufactured, which they've already proven has way higher carcinogens and all types of terrible chemicals in it than normal food does. We really need to have these important conversations. Farms affect all of us. You need to eat. Whether you're a vegan and you eat only plants and you want something natural and organic, or whether you're a carnivore and you like a big juicy steak. Okay? I like a big juicy steak. Okay? So, I mean, it's important. We all have to eat, but if the people in our government continue to make the horrible decisions and incentivizations that they're doing, they're going to have you eating bugs. They're going to have you eating lab-grown meat and fake plant-based meat, you know, and sooner rather than later, and I say this as a joke, but it's not really a joke, sooner rather than later, it'll be like Soylent Green, you know? And if you haven't watched the movie Soylent Green, I encourage you to go watch it, because when you watch it, you're going to be like, dang, what's going on in that movie is so close to reality of what's going on today. And you'll find out that Soylent Green, it's people. It's people. Especially now that we have the laws in New York State where they can decompose a body and use it to grow food and stuff like that, allegedly. It's very scary things are going on in New York State that people need to be aware of, that they're not advertising very far to the general public. But yeah, no, I'm not a fan of human composting. That's something we're not doing, but we are apparently doing, because they pass it into law, which is crazy. But that's a whole separate video. But yeah, farming is important, and you need to stand up on your state level, on your local level, and you need to tell them that you want them to change the laws that are pertaining to farming and incentivize actual farming again. Because we all need to eat, and with the collapse of many parts of our supply chain, eating local now is more important than ever. And with that, I'll catch you guys later. You be blessed, be well, and remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. You're important, and you matter to me. Catch you guys later. Be blessed and be well.